Welcome to the Pregnancy Help Podcast. I'm Christine Grimmett, and I'm joined by Heartbeat International's Director of Affiliate Services, Kathy German, and our episode guest, Abby Bongiorno, Legal Counsel for Alliance Defending Freedom's Church and Ministry Alliance. The Church and Ministry Alliance, or CMA as you may hear us refer to it as, helps faith-based organizations such as pregnancy centers and maternity homes to navigate some of the cultural and government hostility that we sometimes see. You'll hear today about how the CMA is standing up for ministries and working to protect your rights. If you're planning to join us for Heartbeat International's annual conference at the end of April in Birmingham, Alabama, be sure to check out the exhibit hall where you can say hello to our friends at Alliance Defending Freedom. We are quickly approaching our annual conference, but it's not too late to register. Check out the show notes for more on how you can join us in person or online.
Thank you, Christine. I am just so excited that I was asked to be part of this podcast because I've had a lot of really great interactions with Alliance Defending Freedom over the years. Before I joined the Heartbeat staff in October, I was an executive director of a pregnancy center in New York State, and we were also a New York State authorized adoption agency. And so back in 2018, Alliance Defending Freedom filed two lawsuits, well, one first and then another one later on, but they filed two lawsuits on our behalf with regard to our pregnancy center. So two lawsuits against New York State. And so just throughout that time working with Alliance Defending Freedom, they were absolutely fantastic to work with, just brilliant attorneys, so professional and so genuine. Like I felt like every time I talked to them, they genuinely cared about our case and they cared about our center and oftentimes would pray with me on the phone. They were always a phone call or a text away if I ever had questions about what was happening in the case or things that they needed from us. And, you know, they would sometimes even Zoom in or conference call into a board meeting, just, you know, if we had questions among the board that just kind of wanted to have updates. So I just enjoyed working with them, even though, you know, it's a difficult thing with the lawsuits, but we ended up with two great victories there. We're so thankful for Alliance Defending Freedom and everything that they did for us there. And then also just throughout that time, like interacting with the media department there for media training, like with Bernadette and her team was just really helpful. And I just felt like it really prepared me for any interviews that I had to do. I think going through that whole thing, I just never felt alone. I just felt like, you know, we had them behind us and they were always there to support us. And then I also got to attend two different ADF summits throughohout that time too with our court cases. So that was really interesting to be able to be invited as an ADF client. The second one that I went to, I was asked to be a panelist with other clients. And so everyone kind of got to share a little bit about their cases. And it was just really inspiring to be there to hear the other clients and to hear what cases and what battles that they were fighting. And I think I came away from it just really grateful that, you know, I had our whole organization, our board and our staff and our volunteers and obviously our donors and everybody behind us in the fight, whereas some of these clients were individual people that had put their careers and their reputations and everything on the line, and they were fighting this essentially alone. And I was just really inspired by that. And it's just, I feel like everything Alliance Defending Freedom does is with excellence and to honor God. It's been a really great experience. And then after our cases, we ended up joining the Ministry Alliance. And I think it's just such a value for our affiliates to have that and to just know that you have an attorney on speed dial. I'm just happy to be here today to share more about it with you and just to be able to tell our listeners and our affiliates just the value and how important it is really to join the Alliance. So Abby, if you want to just kind of share a little bit about your background and your work with Alliance Defending Freedom, and then, you know, just explain to us what the Church and Ministry Alliance is all about.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. So I have been with the Church and Ministry Alliance at ADF since 2023, and I actually came to ADF after working for the Thomas More Society. So I have been in the pro-life world since I started law school. Actually, it's been phenomenal to be able to work with pregnancy centers from essentially day one for me of my legal career. And I really wanted to focus my practice on how I can help with the pre-litigation matters, which is kind of what the Church and Ministry Alliance handles. So the Church and Ministry Alliance was created to equip and empower gospel-centered churches and ministries to boldly walk into the wind, living out their missions and transforming the culture with the truth, which, as we know, is a really difficult thing to do right now.
That's wonderful, Abby. Could you share a little bit about the actual benefits and what's involved with becoming a Ministry Alliance partner?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different benefits as an alliance member. So there's the obvious one, which is the legal support, right? So if you have a legal question or you want a document reviewed, that's the area you can go to us. You get contacted with an ADF attorney, and we kind of guide you concerning religious liberty issues, First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of association issues, and things that for pregnancy centers is going to be anything kind of related to that pro-life law. We also are helping you understand the legal significance of the language that you use to describe what your ministry does. And we also want to draw your attention to potential legal issues that could impact the work that you're doing for the kingdom of God. Besides the legal support that I just talked about, we also are having this new tool. It's called a religious liberty assessment, and it is designed to help our ministries identify gaps in their governing documents and take proactive steps to strengthen the legal foundation of religious liberty. So an ADF attorney will actually take a look at a questionnaire that each member will fill out along with their core documents, like articles of incorporation, and for pregnancy centers, that also would include bylaws and your statement of faith. And then we actually compare it with the questionnaire that we have you fill out and ensure that everything is clear and consistent and is communicating what you believe. We also have other resources and guides. So there's access to educational resources that are focused on legal and cultural matters, and webinars that both are recorded and some live ones as well. And then we also have news and insights. So we're rolling out again our newsletter that we'll be sending out with updates about kind of what's going on in the legal world here. And we've also got something called constituent support. So we want to help equip congregations and your community with training, job opportunities, and resources that are designed to address legal challenges and help shape a more biblical worldview in our society today.
That's wonderful, Abby. I know that I think you still have I think the booklet is called Protecting Your Pregnancy Center. And
Yes.
There's a printed version and then a digital version too. And I know that was a really great resource for me as an executive director, because it goes through, kind of like what you said with your bylaws and job descriptions and statement of faith and all that. And it talks through the importance of having the religious language in there. And there's even sample templates of a code of conduct and statement of faith and all that. So it's a really, really helpful resource to have. And so definitely that's just another great, great benefit. So what types of ministries or what size of ministries is this intended for? And what about centers that are already in a pro-life state? Do you think that they still need to join the Alliance? Is there still benefit for that as well?
Yeah, both great questions. For the first one, for what size is this kind of oriented towards? Really any size of ministry or congregation or church. We are here to kind of help offset that legal price gap, right? That a lot of pregnancy centers, no matter what the size is, just can't afford to have an in-house counsel or to have someone on retainer to call and ask about, hey, I think our religious liberty rights are being violated. What do you think? So it's for any size organization, and pricing is dependent upon your annual revenue. And in terms of, okay, well, do we need to join if we're in a pro-life state, right? First thing I have to say is, as an attorney, the answer to those questions are always something along the lines of it depends, right? But here, it's actually really important that even if you're in a pro-life state, that you know what your religious liberties are. And this membership really offers the opportunity for you to delve really deep into what it is that you're doing. I tell my pregnancy centers this all the time. You are the hands and feet of Jesus Christ in the world, serving a really vulnerable population, which is men and women who are facing unexpected pregnancy and don't really know what to do. And even if you're in a pro-life state, that doesn't mean that everyone that walks through your doors is going to have a pro-life opinion. And it's super important that you know your own identity as a pregnancy center or pregnancy help organization, and that you're able to articulate that to any patient or client that walks in the door.
That's great. That's really, really helpful. And even just outside of that, as far as the benefit I could see, even if you're in a pro-life state, it's you still have the benefit of that legal review. So just having, attorneys there be able to kind of look at your documents, your founding documents, and make sure that they're all, you know, detailed enough and have the religious language and just are accurate and everything. So I think that that's also a really great benefit. So you mentioned that the pricing for that, it's a yearly, kind of like a yearly subscription, right?
Correct. Yeah. It's honestly, it doesn't equate to what you would actually be paying an attorney in their normal hours in order to actually have these services, right? Even at the highest levels. And I'm so fortunate to be able to work on the CMA team. I'm the only one right now handling our pregnancy centers. So I really get to keep a pulse on what's going on in the country with pregnancy centers and kind of the different issues that they're facing, the different pushbacks they're getting, any concerns that they might be having. And I can really help compile everything. And I get to bring it up to our life litigation team, who actually helps make sure that I'm doing my job on the back end of pre-litigation work, right? Making sure documents are super clear and consistent, and going over some of the things that litigation is seeing cause snags in the courtroom. And so I'm able to kind of preemptively help our centers out by bringing it up before it's ever an issue in a court of law.
That's really good. And I think what you said about the pricing is it makes so much sense because you're right. Most centers could never afford the legal fees involved without this. I mean, I know just for my personal experience at our center, I'm just thankful that Alliance Defending Freedom takes on all these cases pro bono. And so it didn't cost our center anything. And otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to fight it. We would have had to make a decision to change our adoption policies or potentially close our adoption agency. So we're really grateful for that. And then, because we did get victories, I know that the court also mandated that the state had to pay ADF some of the attorney fees back. So that was also a great part of the victory as well. So those are huge benefits. And can you think of any like testimonies from any other centers that have been part of the Ministry Alliance and how it's really helped them?
Yeah, so we actually had a survey recently where we sent out a couple questions about how the Church and Ministry Alliance has impacted our members. And we got a lot of pregnancy centers to respond, which is fantastic. And there was actually a couple phrases and key themes that were repeated over and over that I'm so happy to hear that our members are feeling this way. One of them was that our centers feel peace of mind in these uncertain times. And I saw that 2 or 3 different times. And I was like, oh, this is fantastic that I'm able to provide our centers with the knowledge and the confidence in themselves to really be able to live out their mission. And confidence was another one of the ones that our center said that they're feeling much more confident in knowing what their religious liberties are and being able to share that with people without fear of the government coming after them. So it's been wonderful being able to work with all the pregnancy centers.
Yeah, that's great, Abby. Can you explain to our audience just how they can sign up for this or how they can find out more about it? What's involved in that? Is there an application process or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. So the website that you can go to is adfchurchalliance.org. And you can actually sign up to be a member that way. Things that we look for, are you a registered nonprofit? Are you 501c3? Can you also sign off on our statement of faith? So it's really important that you're able to be on the same page of what the understanding is and moral worldview here. And then you fill out the application, and one of our either regional alliance directors or one of our membership folks will get in contact and ask any further questions. There's orientation with one of our gals on our membership team who actually goes through what the whole program looks like, and we set you up for success here. So it's a really great community to be able to be a part of. And like you had said before, everyone is really genuine and really kind, and we just want to help.
Yeah, and I really always felt too that they really cared about our organization, so I think that that's the most reassuring thing. And so you sign up, and then if I remember correctly, when we signed up too, then you can attend it's like a virtual, like a webinar type thing where they really go into detail and explain it all. That was really helpful. And then I also remember getting like a packet in the mail of some different newsletters and those kinds of things. And like you mentioned, monthly emails or quarterly, I think. I always love to get, and I don't know if it's part of the Alliance or just something that you put out, but it was called Faith and Justice. It was like a quarterly magazine that we would get at our center. And I think that might have been just during the lawsuit. I can't remember if that's part of the Ministry Alliance as well, but it was just really beautiful to just read the stories in there again about your clients and the battles that they're facing, and just the courage and the bravery that they have to just stand up for life and for truth and for God's word. And so those stories are just so encouraging.
Yeah, it's through it, like ADF, like the bigger umbrella company, but it always details such amazing work that our clients are doing. It is such an honor and privilege to be able to work with our clients and our members every single day, and to be in a position where I get to not only share my love of Jesus with everybody that I talk to, but also help protect their ability to share that love of Jesus with others too. It's just an absolutely wonderful opportunity.
This is amazing information. Thank you for sharing this with us. So if I understand it correctly, there's a discount to affiliates if they are a Heartbeat member, right?
Correct. Yep. So the promo code or the discount code is HEART20. You get, I believe it's 20% off of your membership fee for the annual fee that you pay. And if you're an affiliate of Heartbeat, it's absolutely worth using. You get to save a little extra money on top of what you normally would be saving.
Right. I 100% agree with that. If you're a Heartbeat affiliate out there listening today, I encourage you to join the Ministry Alliance with Alliance Defending Freedom. You will be very thankful for all the great resources that they offer, and just the peace of mind to know that if something does come up in your state or within your center that you have questions about, they're just a phone call away and they're happy to help. So we're so grateful to partner with you guys, and looking forward to seeing you at our conference. And maybe I'll even be able to sit in on a workshop. So we're just grateful for all the great work that you guys do. Christine, back to you.
Thanks, Kathy. Thank you, Abby. One phrase you hear us say at Heartbeat here all the time is we're better together. And your conversation reminded me of that, because it's just one of those times that we can unite as pro-lifers and as Christians and strengthen the movement together using your skill set at ADF and the Alliance, all of the resources there that the pregnancy help movement can then connect with, making us stronger, making us able to fight those battles as needed and protect our rights as Christians, being able to serve those who are in need. So thank you for all that you guys are doing. Thanks to our listeners for hanging out with us today. We have more information in the show notes on conference, on the Alliance, and be sure to subscribe to the podcast so that you get notified of all our future episodes. So with that, I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for listening to this episode of the Pregnancy Help Podcast.